Well, great. So, yeah, we were today going to talk about kind of awakening experiences, altered states of consciousness, higher states of consciousness, mystical experiences, just sort of that realm of things. And so there is this account that is recorded. It was from a letter, uh, excuse me, from a Japanese executive who was 47 years old in 1953, and he wrote a letter to, I think, his teacher or some Zen master. And so I was just gonna go ahead and paraphrase that letter about a pretty powerful awakening experience he had, and then we were just gonna kind of talk about it. So, excuse me. So, yes, he was riding on a train in Japan on his way home with his wife, and he was reading a Zen book. And he had read this passage before, but it really hit him hard this time. So the short passage is, I came to realize clearly that mind is no other than mountains and rivers and the great wide earth, the sun and the moon and the stars. And it just struck him very powerfully. And he was actually moved to tears, and he covered his face with his handkerchief. So he arrived home with his wife. His brother and his brother's wife were visiting, and he went to bed around 11 or 11:30. And then he woke up at midnight. Excuse me. And then he was kind of groggy for a little while, but then he kind of became struck, and that passage kept repeating in his mind. And so he says he was struck as though by lightning, and the next instant heaven and earth crumbled and disappeared. Instantly, like surging waves, a tremendous delight welled up in me, a veritable hurricane of delight as I laughed loudly and wildly. And so he laughs, and he said, there's no reasoning here, no reasoning at all. Keeps laughing. He said, the empty sky split in two, then opened its enormous mouth and began to laugh uproariously, laughing, laughing. Later, one of the members of my family told me that my laughter had sounded inhuman. And so he's like elated. He suddenly sat up and he struck the bed with all his might, and he beat the floor with his feet as if trying to smash it, laughing riotously all the time. And he said his wife and his youngest son were frightened. His wife tried to cover his mouth. And he said, I've come to enlightenment. Shakyamuni and the patriarchs haven't deceived me. They haven't deceived me. And so he remembers crying out. Uh, and as he was writing the letter in this account, he said, even now my skin is quivering as I write. And he went to see his teacher the next day. He tried to describe to him the experience. He was yelling, I am overjoyed, I'm overjoyed. Uh, and his teacher kind of encouraged him. He said, you are to be congratulated more than once. And he kind of gave him tips on how to further his training. And he said he spent the next day or two kind of a lot of it by himself. His body was shaking, laughing, and weeping. Yeah, just an utterly kind of amazing experience that was struck by. And I don't know, to me, it's very inspiring. When I first heard about this in the Waking Up app, and I'll put a link to it. It's in the Koan Way, a Zen kind of series of Zen recordings in the Waking Up app, and it's also in this book, the Three Pillars of Zen by Philip Kapleau, on around page 228, kind of a classic of Zen in the West. But yeah, it was just kind of, I mean, I don't know. That's just such a inspiring, yeah, passage for me. It just kind of makes you want to have an awakening experience or just makes you think that there's really something there.